Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Rysyn. This is the Vanilla Plus series where I work on data packs and stuff. Yeah, fun. Anyways, I was just over here in this greenhouse and yeah, I just finished putting in some flowers and the bees and I think it looks a lot nicer. As part of doing that, I have also done another project and these allays want to escape. Give me just a moment. Alright, so I was working on this. It is like a little cellar area. This chest is important, I'll explain that later. But yeah, it's an area that goes down under these farms, and it's like a little storage room for all of the different things that the farms produce. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes that I'm just gonna breeze over. But basically, stuff gets sorted, auto-crafted, and stored. And I guess it really doesn't make sense to not explain this chest. It is not hooked up yet, but the intention is for shulker boxes full of certain items to be delivered up here nice and convenient, so I can grab them. But now, let's go work on a different project. I have been wanting to get some progress done on this build for a while now. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to get this thing completely finished today. Let's do this. Alright, so that went pretty well. I did go ahead and continue working, and as you can see, I've got these swirling energy vortexes being sucked into the crystals. Let's get a better look at this. One of my favorite places to see it is actually from the side, because you can kind of see those different strands like swirling. And I've gone ahead and done that on all four, and it is really starting to take shape. I also went back and these four central towers, I made them slightly larger, so instead of just coming straight up out of the ground, they have a thicker base. And I did that because they're technically holding up more weight, and there was a bit of like sameness, and that really helps break it up. They're only like 4 blocks taller now, but it really helps them stand out as like the center columns. So I think that looks great. There is one other thing that I'm not going to be able to finish today, just because I do not have the materials. So if you look at this crystal here, you can see that there's some crying obsidian. Basically, the idea is all of this energy into the crystal is causing stress on the crystal, and you can see that it's starting to suffer for it. It's starting to crack, I guess. I'm trying to make them look like cracks spreading out. And the main reason for this was actually up inside. I was having an issue with... So the main issue that I was having in here was because these portals are linked so close to each other, I was having new portal blocks forming in these different areas. So if I put a crying obsidian on each of, in each of these rings, it'll prevent that from happening, because a portal can't use the crying obsidian as part of the frame. So that's just to prevent the portals from spawning in these spots. Another part of this build is, I'm still trying to work out some of the details, but I have an idea. Over here it causes a little bit of a problem because what I have planned, but a good spot to look at it is actually over here. So where this intersects the land, right now I've just got these kind of like marked out where these would go underground. I actually put in blocks in this one just to make sure that I did it in the right spot. But, and then here as well, these ones are actually exposed with the exception of that one there. Once this is no longer a path block, you won't be able to see it. But basically the idea here is that somehow I wanted this energy to like meld with, combine with, like I wanted to somehow be able to show that it's like affecting the ground, that the energy is still there. And the cherry wood actually, I think, works pretty well. The other thing though is I want it to look like it's almost sucking the energy out of the area around it, because that's kind of the idea. This is sucking energy from the environment. I want that to be visible when it comes to the ground. So what I was thinking of doing is anywhere that the energy is like touching, so it would be like this block here, this one here, and then, you know, this might fade because of how deep underground it is, and then it would like reappear right here. I want to put some sort of like indication that the earth is being affected. By earth, I mean dirt. And I think that soul soil is what's going to look best. And I also had the idea that you can see I've cleared out all the mycelium from this area, but because this ritual seems to have the color purple involved, I thought it would be cool that in the same way that normal nether portals kind of have that bleed out of netherrack, I thought it would be cool to have this area kind of look like it's bleeding out the mycelium, kind of giving a reason for why this island was covered in mycelium. It just spread and spread and spread. Which probably means I'll have to put a wall around this area because I don't want the mycelium to cover the entire island. Obviously, I've put a lot of work into undoing that. So I might put like some sort of safety wall, or just kind of like, I don't know how I want to do that yet. But for now, let's move on to this part of the project. I just went and grabbed some things, and I think I have everything I need now. I think first things first, I want to raise this up so that it stands on top of the ground, not sitting down into it. So first things first, let's get the floor in. Wow, I did not know that that needed exactly a stack. Anyways, next up, let's bring these up to their full height. And let's add our lighting. Now, there's a problem here that I have to figure out. So for now, I'm just going to put them there, and I know that's weird, but I'll fix it. Also, I don't know yet. Oh, I messed this up too. This is special. So it takes less than a stack, actually. But let's get this in. that. And I was thinking about putting candles here as well. But I don't know if that's too much. I'll leave them for the time being. Alright, and then I've got to put in some like cross pillars, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put the border on this place. Let's see. Alright, that's the majority of the build. I've still got to put in these things. They were originally meant to be like connecting up, so it's basically just like a ring. Yeah, let me go ahead and finish that real quick. Alright, I think I got them all. And as you can see, they've kind of, like, they're in ruin. I think maybe once the ritual was done, it stopped being maintained, and possibly the structure was weakened because it's right near where the energy is being sucked from. I don't know. And then this is an area that kind of conflicts the color, the purple. I wanted to use lighting, and I just didn't like the way that the purple candles looked. That was my first thought. So I went with soul lanterns instead because it's on theme with nether materials. If you hadn't noticed, everything is built with nether materials for this. And then cyan candles, when they're unlit, I think they're the closest match. Once they're lit, they have a green color, so I'm going to leave them unlit. But then light blue also didn't quite work. They were too blue when lit, and definitely too blue when unlit. But yeah, I do have one more thing to do to complete this build. It involves that button there. And if you remember, this is the area that the Eyes of Ender originally brought me. It was right here. And when I dug down, there was no stronghold in sight. So I marked out kind of a, I don't want to call it a grid, but basically just these 6 points to dig down. And then this is the one that ended up allowing me to find the stronghold, which is why I'm putting the button on this side. And then right over here, this goes down. To the stronghold staircase. And this is where I initially came in. So the idea is to have this button maybe open up some sort of like spiral staircase that I walk down, and it leads me out into that stronghold staircase area. And then I'll renovate the stronghold in a way that connects it from this down to the portal. as a walking path. I went ahead and started working on the terrain a little bit. As you can see, there is mycelium coming in, and this is the soul soil that I mentioned, going around anywhere that the energy is touching. I've also been, anywhere you see dirt instead of paths, I've been slowly shaping the terrain a bit. But over here is a good spot to see where the corruption is kind of affecting the ground, and it was too deep to have it fully connected there, but so you can kind of see where it leaves off and picks back up. But yeah, so I'm liking the way that everything's looking so far. I'm gonna keep doing a little bit of land smoothing so that I can get the mycelium spread throughout this whole area. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on that, and then also I just put in a little bit more like support up here for the altar, the meeting place, if you will. The idea there is that the group of people that started this whole ritual, this was like their meeting place. So, and then I've also changed out some of the blocks for more broken down versions where it collides with the energy. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna keep at it, getting that mycelium spread. And also, I did spend a little bit of time in creative coming up with the design for the energy spiral that goes down to the end portal. So I'm going to work on that as well. Alright, the mycelium is coming in nicely. I've got the energy spiral done. It doesn't quite go all the way down to the portal just yet because I don't know how I want that to connect. But yeah, I think for today we're going to call that good enough. This project is just got some finishing touches left, like the crying obsidian, connecting the portal, and creating a spiral staircase that goes down through the stronghold. And then obviously I gotta find some way to like partition off the area, some sort of wall or containment zone. But yeah, I'm loving the progress from today, and I think it's really looking good, coming along great. But yeah, thank you guys for coming today, and hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day.